Alright, so this is just going to be this is going to be the beginning of the video. This is going to be quick. Most of my videos are like 1-2 minutes. So I'm going to give you the fix in the first minute here. And then if you want to watch the rest of it, it's going to be a little bit of a video. This is probably going to be one of the longer ones, at least 10 minutes with all the video I have from everything. But anyways, I will show you everything we did to this car and what actually fixed it. So, alright, so this is everything we did. Nothing changed. Like if you keep watching the video, you'll see sensors didn't change it, that didn't change it, oil changes didn't fix it, seafoam treat didn't fix it, everything stayed exact. This is what fixed it. I took that out of the car and I'll show you what it is. So in your oil filter housing, when you pull your oil filter out, you're going to see this tube sticking up and you're going to see this right in the very bottom of the oil filter housing. And what it is, it's an oil drain back valve. And this spring, you can see, goes right on the back. All I did to fix this car was pull this out with a pair of needle nose pliers, take this spring off, and then put that back in the hole. And so what is happening is this car does not build enough oil pressure at idle. And this spring is holding that valve open so that oil pressure is bypassing the oil filter and going straight back into the oil pan. That is just a drain when you change your oil so that the oil in the filter housing can drain into the pan and then you can change your oil. You take this valve off, it closes that off. And at idle, you will still have good oil pressure because there's nowhere else for the oil to go. It'll go. If you have too much oil pressure, that's what this valve is for. This valve will push down. The oil will get pushed into the oil filter, go through the top of the oil filter, and through back down to the pan if you have too much oil filter. So pulling this spring out does nothing other than when you change your oil, you'll have a little bit of oil left in the oil filter housing. And I'm fine with that. If it fixes it and gets this guy back down the road, this stupid little spring holds this valve open too far. And there, like I said, the car drives perfectly fine. You don't get a check engine light unless you sit in idle, which you always do at a stop sign or a stop light, something like that. But no. So all I did was pull this spring out. Good to go. And that is right in the bottom of the oil filter. Let me see if I can get a picture. All right, so this is on a computer, so it's kind of hard to see, but there's your valve right there. You can unscrew this if you want. I didn't have to. You grab that with a pair of long needle nose pliers, pull it out, pull this spring off the bottom of it, and then pop it back in. And you'll be fine. This doesn't hurt anything. Take it with a grain of salt. You don't want to do it, fine. Live with your check engine light. But you're not going to fix your check engine light unless you put in some high volume oil pump. You know, several $100s worth of work to put that in. So if you're having a problem and you've done all the rest of the stuff I'm going to show you later in this video, do this and you'll be fine. Obviously, the stuff that I'm going to show you in just a minute, these take 15 minutes to change out. They're kind of pricey. You can see I changed this one because it's Dorman. I'm not a huge fan of Dorman, but this ended up not being the problem. So there's probably nothing wrong with this one or that one. These are the sensors. We changed out the intakes twice, and here's an exhaust. We did seafoam in the oil. Obviously you can see there's the oil filter. There's nothing wrong with that oil filter. It is clean. He's changed his oil religiously on this car. We have no idea why the engine is doing this. We seafoamed it. He drove it 1,000 miles. Nothing changed. Not one thing changed with the seafoam cleaning it out. Chevy's like, oh, you got an oil passage that's stuck and full. I'm like, no, that's not it. So anyways, yeah. So the guy takes care of his car. I had the whole top of this motor off, the valve covers, pulled the spark plugs. Everything on this car looks perfect. There's no carbon buildup in the motor. There's no oil passages that are plugged. Nothing. Like, there's a tiny bit of varnish in the engine, and that's just going to come from just normal wear and tear on your PCV system. But yeah, nothing on this car seemed out of ordinary for it to have this check engine light and the low oil pressure at idle. Like I said, it's only got 60,000 miles on this car. So I finally did this, and I've been driving it for about 150 miles. No check engine light. We're just trying to get it to pass emissions now, should be perfectly fine. He said he didn't want the car back until it was fixed. So it's been my daily. It's been nice having a 35 mile per gallon car. So my truck only normally gets 12. So this is actually pretty nice for me. But yeah, and I hate Chevys. The emissions on Chevys, I don't know why. I've had them take up to 500 miles to get ready for emissions, and it is so stupid. Ford, I can drive 70 miles up the freeway and back. It'll be ready. For some reason, Chevy is just weird like this. But anyways, that's the beginning of this video. Probably already into it 5 minutes. I hate long videos, and I only make videos if I can't find the answers on YouTube. I have watched every single video on YouTube. Nobody has done this. Everybody has either replaced the head or replaced the engine. And so I can't find a single video where somebody has actually fixed it this way by pulling the spring and getting the oil pressure higher at idle. We tried thicker oil, doesn't work. We tried putting a 40 weight in it for just a little bit just to see what would happen. Not one bit changed. So this is the only thing that I have found that has actually fixed this car. So anyways, I'll post the videos of the readings that I got off my scanner and stuff like that right after this. So you can see if I'm crazy or not, but I did everything I could to this car, and this is the only thing that even changed any numbers. And so far it's fixed. No check engine light in 200 miles. And you could normally get this check engine light to come out in 20. If you stopped and idled at any stoplight and any parking lot for more than 30 seconds and then shut the car off and then did it again, check engine light. You could get it to do it in the parking lot. So, yep. So I'm going to call this one fixed, and I'll post the videos right after this. It's going to be a little bit of a long video. But anyways, here you go. Okay, so we are in a 2018 Chevy Sonic, just getting gas, gonna go drive it. P0011 for the intake VVT performance or whatever it is. Just gonna show you when it's cold, there's zero problems, there's zero variance. And I'll take a video of the scanner right now. It's asking desired intake, intake camshaft actual position, and then intake camshaft variance. And so I can show you that we've done an oil change on this and it is better. So it used to stick around. Here, let me take a video of that and I'll show you. All right, so here you can see this is what it wants, this is what it's giving it, and this is the difference between before we did the oil change. It was probably 4 or 5 all the time, variance difference. And the customer has replaced both VVT solenoids, the camshaft position sensor, and they had me take the valve cover off and check the timing, make sure the timing's correct, and it is. There's nothing wrong with this engine other than oil sludge. So we have just started this. The car's been running for maybe 2 minutes. We're here to get gas, and then I'll go drive it. But I'll take a video of this here in about 10 minutes. And you're going to notice that this is asking for 20, and this is only at idle. When you're driving, it's perfectly fine. It'll stay at zero variance. That just means that there's no oil pressure getting to the head, and there's either oil sludge or one of the oil passages isn't right. And so what you're going to find is you're going to be looking for this variance, and at idle, it'll be like 13 or 14, and there's nothing you can do about this. This motor is junk. So we've been driving about 10 minutes, and the engine's gotten hot now. You can see the oil pressure has dropped because the oil got thin. It's now at 8.8 or 9 variance. When the engine gets really hot, it'll go up to 14 or 15. And just to show you, the check engine light comes on for that code P0011, and this only has 60,000 miles on it. That's it. So yeah, so if I rev the engine up, it gets oil pressure and the variance goes away. So yeah, so this engine is losing oil pressure. So this is just showing you the codes that it sets. These two over here are the ones that set the check engine light, but it is a P0011. Yeah, it passes when you're driving, when you've got oil pressure, but then it fails when you're sitting in an idle. So, yep, check engine light will come on whenever you're stopped at a stoplight. And yeah, it drives perfectly fine. Nothing really wrong with the car. It drives fine, just it doesn't like where the camshaft is. And it decides it wants to set the check engine light. Okay, so this video is I'm just going to smash them all together into a bigger video. But this one is just showing what it's sitting at right now. It's hot. We've put seafoam in it. And the customer is going to drive it for however long it takes. And we'll do an oil change and run these values again. And if it takes too long, I'll just post this video and then post another video up after it. But that's the plan. The customer wants to try and save it without doing a whole lot of work. So he's still got 6 months left on his registration. So hopefully he can get in like 3 oil changes before then, because I think it's going to take a while to either burn out whatever sludge is in the motor and get that VVT solenoid working again. So, but yay, wish us luck. Alright, so here's some good news on the Sonic. So I have done something, it's not really questionable, but there's a drain in the oil filter housing. And what it is used for is when you're doing your oil changes, this valve will pop up and let the oil drain back into the crank so you get all of your oil out. What I have done is I've removed that spring in that valve. Because what I was thinking is that valve is sticking open, and at idle it is giving low oil pressure because the oil is getting pumped to the filter housing and then draining back through that valve. And so far seems to be working. So let me change the view and I'll let you watch this. Alright, so you can see the car is warming up. It is 183 degrees right now. It will get up to almost 200, so we've still got a little bit to go. But I don't know if you remember in the last video, this was pegged at 99%. Intake camshaft position is at 69-70 right now, and we're almost hot. And I remember that would just be stuck trying to get as much timing as it could. And you can see it's asking for 20 and it's giving it 19. It's basically giving it 20. So the variance is very minimal. And I don't know if you remember on the other video, this was always between 9 and 12, sometimes 14, 15, the variance in degrees. I've taken the whole top of this engine apart a couple times to clean it, like see if there's zero sludge in this engine. So everybody that's saying that it's a sludge matter, the seafoam would not have fixed this at all. So it's a low oil pressure at idle problem, and you're never going to get rid of that unless you're either putting in a high volume oil pump or something. But I'm going to go drive this. You can see it's still got a little bit warmer to get, but only about 10 degrees. So, and it is 73. I'll take another video if that goes up to 99 and then the variance comes back up. But I remember this used to be 12s, and I'll have to go back and check my other video. But that used to be a lot higher. So taking out that drain back valve in the oil filter has done something, and it has helped. So this just goes to show that it was a low oil pressure problem and not a sludge problem. Alright, I'm going to call this a win. So I've been driving it for about 20 minutes now. It is 215 degrees. It's idling at 600 RPM, and the variance is still 0. And it's only trying to go, you can see right there, 85 is the max that I've seen. A little bit higher. But yeah, it averages right around 80. And before it was pegged at 99, like I said, it was trying to give it full blast and still had 12 on the variance. So I'm going to call this a win, give it back to the customer, and see if he can get it emissioned now. Alright, so this is just a recap of everything we did. Obviously, first you start with an oil change. That did not fix it. Nothing changed. You can even see, I mean, the oil's still like light tan. Like, there was nothing wrong with that oil. So then we're like, okay, well, they had this, which is a Dorman aftermarket part, and I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of Dorman stuff. If you can get the originals, that's great. So we got some originals, put in them. Didn't change. So then we're like, okay, well, maybe we got a bad one. So we swapped the exhaust over with the intake, because these are interchangeable. One's the intake, one's the exhaust. They're identical. You can swap them over. You can see this is just an older style with the plastics. The new ones have the wire mesh in them. And the new ones have this wire mesh with a ring around them to keep them from coming apart. So then you can see these are the exhaust camshaft sensors. And this is an intake camshaft sensor, the position sensor. So we replaced that, replaced the exhaust. Can't swap them back and forth on this because you can see the angles. The plugs will not go in them. And then we did the seafoam treatment on the oil, thinking maybe there's a blocked passage, because we did an oil pressure test, found out it's low pressure at idle, all that stuff. And then I even took the valve cover off, and this is when I found out that it is not, this engine is not sludged at all. Took the valve cover off, checked timing, timing's perfect. It's got 60,000 miles on it, so it's still the original timing from the factory. We pulled, so these go on the engine kind of like that, and there's a big bridge that holds these together underneath the valve cover. And so we're like, okay, maybe there's a restriction in those passages. You don't have to take that cam bridge off. One guy on YouTube says that gets plugged up. The oil passages in this cam bridge are so big, you would have to have an insane amount of buildup of just crud or sludge or whatever to block those passages. Because the way it works is the engine feeds the oil through a center port right here, comes up and then splits off to the exhaust and the intake side. And the oil ports are that big. They're that big around to feed these solenoids. In order for that bridge to get plugged up, you would have to have an insane amount of sludge. So if your engine looks clean, like you take the valve cover off and it's all looks clean, do not take this bridge off. I was able to take the bridge off and reseal it without actually taking the front timing belt stuff off. But the proper way to reseal this would be you'd pull your timing belt off, then you pull your timing gears off, and then you pull the backing plate for the timing gears off, and then you can get access to 2 screws right here. I was able to kind of finagle my way in there and get it off. I do not recommend doing it, but I was able to do it because I didn't want to do all the timing stuff. But I was able to pull this bridge off. It was not dirty. Sealed it back up. That's what the sealant's for. But don't take it off. That is not going to be your problem. That guy on YouTube is, oh my God, he's so full of shit. I did it just to check it, and I was so pissed. I was like, there's no way that these holes are going to fill up with sludge, especially since the rest of the engine was clean. But yeah, this was what ended up fixing it. And hopefully I never have this again, but if I do, I know where to go. So, yep. Alright, so this is going to be the final part of it. So you can see it's got just under 61,000 miles on it. I can't remember the entry miles. When I'm editing the video, probably put 1,000 miles on the car, roughly. I don't know, maybe 400 or 500. But you can see it's ready for emissions. It's got 1 knot ready, and here you can have 1 knot ready. So check engine light is not on. It is running. So you can see the check engine light still works. So the car is obviously fixed. And then here is the pass. So it passed, no problem. So yeah, it's just got the evap system not ready, and who knows how long that'll take to pass. But so that is the fix. I'm calling it good.